What's up guys, it's Boomer. Just wanted to show you guys on how you can start using the follow-up and following up your sales, following up your clients, and how to actually convert it to an actual sale to yourself. So let's just get right into it and make it really quick and short and sweet. Now, every sale is considered the same. If you read the book, The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, that every sale is considered the same. So you're going to go a straight line the whole time, but there might be like an objection, or they might be some doubt or concern. They might not trust your company, they might not trust you, or they might not trust the product. So it's for you to overcome the objection and actually get back to them to the straight line. And they might have price objection saying it's not worth the value or it's too expensive, and your job to build the value again and actually take it to the straight line. So it's very important for you to know your sales process and actually helping them take him to the finish line. Now, whether you're a door-to-door guy or you're someone who does high-ticket closing and you got to take him to the webinar, then you just got to answer some questions and close them, or whatever your sales process is. The thing is, the average human attention span is about 8 seconds long. A baby could be crying next door and all of a sudden the mother needs to be appeared or guide, or the father needs to do some errands that they got to run for the family. Either they're under the webinar, or they're in the door, or they're on the phone with you. Something's can come up, so you're not able to continue your straight line process when it comes to your sales. So it's important to you and making sure that you know where the finish line is, so you can actually give them that confidence. Because sales is all about transfer of confidence and transfer of emotion to them. So if you guys can instill that confidence, instill that certainty, that's when they actually keep your product and actually convert to a sale. So when it comes to the follow-up, now this is a statistics that I found in Grant Cardone doing Google searches, to be very specific. About 48% of salespeople never end up following up. So there's a reason why so many people don't actually talk about follow-up, because probably barely enough people actually do it. Now, 25% of salespeople make the second contact and stop. But if you look right over here, after the 5th contact to the 12th contact, about 80% of your sales are going to be made. So it's very important for you to actually continually following up and following up and following up. Now, you might be saying, well, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to be that guy who just ruins someone's day or get cursed out. Now, the reason why you feel that way is, 1, you don't know your sales process. 2, you don't have enough confidence or certainty in your product. Because if you know how good your product is, you should not feel that way. You should be actually considered relentless about what your service is about, because at the end of the day, you should have that belief where your product can change that person's life. That's what you have to have a belief. If you don't have that belief, my recommendation is to get some testimonials from your clients or from your boss or from your influencer, whoever you're working for, or read some stories or research behind it, just so you can instill that confidence. Because I did some research when I first started working in a certain industry, and really built up my confidence knowing that people needed it and how much they loved it. So you can build that confidence by reading other people's stories and testimonials, because stories sell at the end. So here is the go-to lines that I use in order to take them to the straight line persuasion to the finish line. I try to keep it very simple. It's not like you're taking someone on a date. Okay, it's purely you're talking about business in order to be in the position to earn their business, is what I like to say. So you want to be persistent, but I want you to be eloquently persistent, which means you want to keep it simple, very straight to the point, and remind them that we are talking to help each other achieve a certain goal in mind with the product. So the opening line is, "Hi, my name is Boomo. I'm X, Y, and Z company. We saw that you inquired information about our company. Are you still interested, and what attracted you to our program?" Whatever line you want to use, that's something I like to use. Just make it very simple and straight. If they don't answer the phone, don't answer your voicemail, the last one is go through text. So you use a texting opening line. If they don't answer that, the second line I like to use is just call him by the first name and question mark. Make it very simple. So you'll be like, "John, question mark, Peter, question mark." Now, if they don't answer that second message, my third message is everything good, comma, question mark, first name. So I'd be like, "John, is everything all right? Is everything good, Peter?" And if they finally not answer on that one, my final question is, have you gave up on the XXX opportunity so you can achieve financial freedom, or you can achieve a savings with our program, John? Because you want to actually nail the pain point or nail the existing problem they have that your product can solve. Because every person has a problem if they're talking to you or inquiring more information about a certain product. So you ask them, is this current problem not really important to you, Mr. Prospect, in order to achieve this? And most people can't stand like having a problem or pain. So you usually get a response during that time after your 4th try, which I think it's very powerful. I try to do at least 5 tries. And if you get no response from there, just leave them alone. Because at the end of the day, your time is way more valuable than talking to a brick wall or someone who doesn't appreciate your time. So if someone doesn't appreciate your time, at least appreciate your own time, because your time is the most valuable thing. So here's actually some examples. Obviously, this is the opening liner that I use. Can't really talk about specifics about what I specifically do just because the remit that I have. But basically, I work for an influencer who sells a digital course in helping people achieve X, Y, and Z in order to attain a more accomplished business. That's basically talking about that. I will say this. First name, have you gave up on the business opportunity for yourself? I asked them, have you gave it up? And are you still willing to go through that pain? And the person has finally responded after 3 messages, and we basically have able to follow up. That's one example right over there after 3 messages. And I just messaged this person right over here. Didn't really answer whatsoever. And I just left a question mark. First name, thankfully he actually answered. We'll go to another example. Chris left my opener, didn't answer this. Now I just go through straight to the point. So now he responded, yes, for a moment. Thank you for getting back. So people actually appreciate you for actually following up and putting the time to actually reach out to them. So don't feel like you're obligated or feel like you're devaluing yourself, because most people don't do the follow-up game, and you're considered one of the top 50% in the world when it comes to follow-ups. So do appreciate your time and do appreciate what you're doing for your clients, and be very prideful. So here's a really long message. Didn't answered me, and basically a fluent conversation from here. Very short word, nothing like too valuable or like extravagant liner. So we continue on just so I can get the person to my radar and to my finish line. Apparently didn't answer. I asked his first name, question mark. Then I had to ask again after 2 days. Then after another 2 days, which was Friday, the person I kind of left for the pain point, and the actual person actually did respond, and they actually appreciated that I follow up and was very relentless. Just shows you how much value people appreciate once again. Feel free to pause it, obviously. Parts you want to rewatch. So this is the very similar thing, very fluent. The conversation was going well, then all of a sudden it just stopped. So I asked his first name. Then I asked him, Mike, is everything good? Then he finally answered, and we basically started our conversation again. And I believe it's the same person. Yep, it's the same person, which is Mike. We talked fluently again. Then all of a sudden, he was not able to answer. So I went every 2 days. Today's Wednesday. So I actually try to follow up every 2 days once they don't respond or reply. So we actually had another fluent conversation. It just shows how people's attention span is so short, and like they get distracted easily. Even myself, because we're all human at the end. So let's just say you finally follow up enough times and actually gave them the opportunity to look at your price and actually saw the benefits behind it. So once you take it to the finish line, it's all about the numbers, right? So you want to present the numbers, now what benefits they're going to receive bundle wise or incentive wise of joining today versus later on. And after you laid out all the value, you want to ask a very, very simple question. Once you laid all the value to the prospect, your job is to put all the responsibility to them starting at this point when it comes to the very end of the close. So Mr. Prospect, did you have any more questions, or were you ready to get started with the program today? Powerful line, right? You're asking them to buy not just the program, but are you willing to buy it today? So if they have some questions, your job is actually to overcome those objections. Now, when it comes to objections, you probably are familiar with some things that you have to overcome on your specific industry, or some common things that you hear. So as a professional, you need to overcome them. Now, there might be some technical questions when it comes to like software, IT, or risk management, something that's very technical, that is like with a out of your knowledge, I want to give you a very valuable lesson that I learned from one of my mentors. And that's when you get a very difficult question or something that's like outside your logistics, more for quality assurance questions. It could be something like, you know what, Mr. Prospect, that's a really good question. You know, you mind if I write it down so I can get that question answered for you? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. So you write that down and make sure you take your time just so you don't act like you're half beeping your efforts to the prospect. You want to show empathy. So when you do that, or you want to make sure you text one of your teammates, your team members, your boss, whoever, manager, whoever it is, and you'd be like, okay, so did you have any other questions than that, or were you looking to get started today? Oh, that's the only question that I have. So once I get that question answered, we're pretty much ready to go. What'd you say? Yeah. So that's how you can close. And if they still have more questions, that you know that question originally wasn't the true objection that stopped them originally of joining. So you have to keep on answering the questions, overcome some things or some confusing parts, because if you kept on following up, there's some things they probably missed, right? Like their memory, their attention span, right? So you kept on asking the question, and once you answer all the questions, you want to say, so did you have any more questions, or you're ready to get started with the program today? And basically, if they have no more questions, they either have to tell you yes or no at the end, since you answer all their questions. Now, and that's when, if they have no questions, it's affordable, you pretty much got the sale. Now, most people think that their job is done, but it actually is considered the second beginning, if I have to say. Because not only you have to just follow up in order to secure the sale, you have to secure to make sure they keep that sale at the same time. Because if you are in sales, obviously you're familiar that some people can actually cancel their product or service. So it's actually your job to actually follow up to making sure they're all satisfied, they all got their paperwork, if there was any confusing parts, in order to eliminate buyer's remorse for the prospect. And it's a really, really good time if they're really satisfied and like the product, because not every product is perfect, but you can always try to do your best as a person when it comes to customer service, as a representative of your program or your product. So when you just show great professionalism and great satisfaction and customer service to your client, you have the opportunity to ask referrals, which they are very warm or considered look forward to your meeting or looking forward to your interaction, just because they know they have an existing problem that their friend or acquaintance have, that they know that you can solve with the customer service and the sales process that you took for your client, and how it solves the problems in the marketplace. And at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to follow-up, some people will buy, some people won't. So what? You always have the next opportunity. So I just want to let you know that. Hope that helped. Have a good one.
People out front.